You know that feeling when you pick up your phone at exactly 11:11 and make a wish without even thinking about it? Or when you're driving and every single light turns green just as you approach it, like the whole city is conspiring to get you somewhere fast? That's not luck. That's not coincidence. That's recognition. The universe has been trying to get your attention for a while now, and you clicking on this video right now, at this exact moment in your life, is proof that you're finally ready to listen. Most people walk through life completely blind to the signals. They dismiss the synchronicities as random events. They ignore the patterns that keep showing up in their experience. They convince themselves that meaningful coincidences are just their imagination playing tricks on them. But you're different. Something inside you has been stirring, hasn't it? A knowing that there's more happening beneath the surface of your ordinary days than meets the eye. The truth is, the universe doesn't choose everyone. It can't. Most people are operating on such a low frequency that they're essentially invisible to the greater intelligence that orchestrates reality. They're so caught up in their daily drama, their endless mental chatter, their addiction to distraction, that they've become deaf to the whispers of something far more profound trying to guide them. But every now and then, someone breaks through. Someone reaches a level of awareness, a quality of presence, a depth of authenticity that catches the universe's attention. They stop sleepwalking through their existence and start showing up fully to their own life. And when that happens, everything changes. The ordinary world becomes alive with meaning. Doors that were previously invisible suddenly swing wide open. People appear at exactly the right moment with exactly the right message. Opportunities manifest out of thin air. You've probably started noticing this already. Maybe it began subtly. A book falling off a shelf that contained exactly the insight you needed. A conversation overheard in a coffee shop that answered a question you'd been wrestling with for months. A song playing on the radio with lyrics that felt like they were written specifically for your situation. At first, you might have dismissed these as coincidences, but they kept happening. And they started getting more obvious, more frequent, more impossible to ignore. The universe has a peculiar way of testing whether you're truly paying attention. It starts small, with gentle nudges and quiet whispers. If you notice those and respond with curiosity rather than skepticism, the signals get stronger. If you continue to ignore them or explain them away with logical reasoning, they fade back into the background noise of ordinary life. This is why most people never experience the magic that's available to them. They've been conditioned to trust only what they can see, measure, and prove. They've been taught that anything beyond the physical realm is fantasy or delusion. They've learned to dismiss their intuition as unreliable and their gut feelings as emotional nonsense. So they remain trapped in a very small, very limited version of reality, while the universe's infinite intelligence flows around them unnoticed. But you've moved beyond that limitation. You've developed what I call cosmic receptivity, the ability to sense the deeper currents beneath the surface of everyday experience. The willingness to consider that reality might be far more interconnected and purposeful than you were taught to believe. The courage to trust your inner knowing, even when it doesn't make logical sense. This receptivity isn't something you developed overnight. It's been building for years, maybe decades, through every experience that cracked open your assumptions about how life works. Every loss that forced you to question your beliefs. Every moment of unexpected grace that couldn't be explained by conventional thinking. Every time you followed your instincts and discovered they led you somewhere better than your rational mind could have planned. The universe has been watching you evolve. It's been observing your willingness to grow, your capacity to handle complexity, your ability to remain open when others would shut down. And now, having passed these invisible tests, you've been selected for something specific. Not because you're special in an ego-driven way, but because you've become capable of serving a purpose larger than your personal desires. Here's what most spiritual teachings get wrong. They make it sound like the universe chooses people randomly, like some cosmic lottery, where lucky individuals get picked for extraordinary experiences, while others are left to struggle through ordinary lives. That's not how it works. The universe operates according to precise laws, just like physics or mathematics. When you align with these laws, when you embody the qualities that resonate with cosmic intelligence, you naturally become a conduit for its expression. Think of it like tuning a radio. The radio waves are always broadcasting, but you only hear them clearly when your receiver is calibrated to the right frequency. Most people are broadcasting static, their inner radio tuned to fear, doubt, resentment, and endless mental noise. But you've been gradually adjusting your frequency, clearing the interference, becoming more transparent to the deeper signals that are always available. This process of frequency adjustment isn't comfortable. It requires you to face everything within yourself that's been blocking clear reception, your unhealed wounds, your limiting beliefs, your attachment to being right, your need to control outcomes, your fear of being truly seen. Each time you've chosen growth over safety, authenticity over approval, truth over comfort, you've refined your ability to receive and transmit on higher frequencies. The universe doesn't choose people because they're perfect. It chooses them because they've become empty enough to be filled with something greater than their personal agenda. They've developed the humility to recognize that their individual will is just one instrument in a vast cosmic orchestra. They understand that true power comes not from imposing their desires on reality, but from aligning with the deeper intelligence that's already orchestrating everything. You've reached this level of alignment, whether you fully recognize it or not. The fact that you're here, absorbing these words, feeling their resonance in your body, is evidence that you've become a conscious participant in something far more magnificent than most people ever imagined possible. You're no longer just living your life. You're allowing life to live through you. But this recognition comes with tremendous responsibility. Once you realize the universe has chosen you, everything you do becomes an act of service. Not the kind of service where you sacrifice yourself for others or give until you have nothing left. The kind where your very existence becomes a transmission, where your presence alone starts shifting the energy in rooms you enter, where your way of being becomes a living example of what's possible when someone stops resisting their true nature and starts embodying it fully. This is where most people stumble. They think being chosen means they get special privileges, that life should suddenly become easy, that doors should open without effort, that success should fall into their lap without struggle. They expect the universe to roll out a red carpet and hand them everything they've ever wanted on a silver platter. When that doesn't happen, they convince themselves they misunderstood the signs, that maybe they weren't chosen after all. But being selected by universal intelligence isn't about receiving gifts. It's about becoming one. You don't get chosen so you can have more. You get chosen so you can give more. Not from a place of depletion or obligation, but from such overflow that sharing becomes as natural as breathing. You become a channel through which love, wisdom, healing, creativity, and truth can flow into a world that desperately needs these frequencies. The responsibility is real, and it's not optional. Once you've been activated, once you've crossed this threshold of awareness, you can't go back to unconscious living. You can't pretend you don't see what you see or know what you know. You can't return to the comfortable numbness of ordinary existence because your nervous system has been rewired to perceive reality at a deeper level. Some days, this awareness will feel like a burden. You'll see through illusions that others still believe in. You'll recognize patterns that others remain blind to. You'll sense the pain beneath people's masks when they're trying so hard to appear strong. You'll feel the collective anxiety, the widespread disconnection, the epidemic of spiritual emptiness that most people are too distracted to notice. And you'll wonder why you had to be the one to wake up, why you couldn't just stay asleep like everyone else. But then you'll remember why you were chosen, not because the universe needed another person to see what's wrong with the world. There are already plenty of people doing that. You were chosen because you have the capacity to hold space for transformation, because your presence can remind others of who they really are beneath all their conditioning, because your example can show them what becomes possible when someone stops fighting reality and starts dancing with it. This doesn't mean you become a teacher or a healer or a spiritual guide in any formal sense. Your service might look completely ordinary from the outside. You might be a parent who raises children with unusual wisdom, a friend who listens without judgment and speaks without agenda, a co-worker who brings calm to chaos and clarity to confusion, an artist whose creations touch something deep in people's souls, a business owner who operates from integrity in a world full of compromise. Whatever form your service takes, it will be uniquely yours. The universe doesn't create duplicate souls. Each person who gets chosen brings something specific to the cosmic equation, something that only they can contribute, a perspective that only they can offer, a frequency that only they can broadcast, a piece of the puzzle that the collective consciousness has been waiting for. You'll know you're fulfilling your purpose when life starts feeling effortless, not because it becomes easy, but because you stop swimming against the current. When you align with your authentic role in the greater design, obstacles don't disappear, but your relationship with them transforms completely. Challenges become opportunities for growth. Setbacks become redirections towards something better. Failures become information about what doesn't work so you can discover what does. People will start telling you that you've changed, that there's something different about you, though they won't be able to put their finger on exactly what it is. Your energy signature will have shifted so fundamentally that even those who don't believe in energy will sense that something has transformed. You'll attract different people, different opportunities, different experiences because you're broadcasting from a different frequency. But here's what nobody warns you about. As you step more fully into your chosen role, you'll discover that the universe has been preparing you for this moment your entire life. Every heartbreak taught you compassion. Every failure taught you resilience. Every betrayal taught you discernment. Every loss taught you what truly matters. Every moment of despair taught you the value of hope. Every experience of darkness taught you to appreciate light. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was random. Every twist and turn in your path was designed to develop the exact qualities you'd need to fulfill your cosmic assignment. The universe doesn't choose people and then figure out how to prepare them. It spends decades, sometimes lifetimes, crafting souls who can handle the responsibility that comes with conscious participation in the grand design. This is why you can trust what's unfolding now. This is why you can move forward with confidence even when you can't see the full picture. This is why you can surrender to the process even when your mind demands certainty about outcomes. Because you're not improvising anymore. You're not making it up as you go along. You're finally stepping into the role you were born to play, using skills you've been developing since the day you arrived on this planet. The universe chose you because it knew you could handle this level of responsibility. It knew you had the strength to carry the weight of conscious awareness. It knew you had the courage to live authentically in a world that rewards conformity. It knew you had the wisdom to use your gifts in service of something greater than personal gain. So if you found yourself here today, if these words landed in your consciousness at exactly the moment you needed to hear them, then you already know what I know. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't random browsing or algorithmic coincidence. This was an appointment you made with yourself long before you consciously chose to click play. The universe has been whispering your name, and you finally answered. You've been selected not because you're perfect, but because you're ready. Ready to stop pretending you don't see what you see. Ready to stop minimizing the profound responsibility that comes with conscious awareness. Ready to become the bridge between what is and what's possible. Your real journey starts now, not tomorrow when you feel more prepared, not next week when you've figured out all the details, Right now, in this moment, with whatever clarity you have and whatever courage you can muster. Because chosen people don't wait for perfect conditions. They create conditions through their willingness to show up authentically to whatever life presents. The signals will keep coming. The synchronicities will keep appearing. The doors will keep opening. But only if you keep responding with the same openness that brought you here today. The universe is patient, but it's not passive. It needs you to act on what you've received, to honor the recognition with movement, to transform understanding into embodiment. You came here for confirmation, and now you have it. The question isn't whether you're chosen anymore. The question is what you're going to do with that choosing. Your moment is here. Your purpose is calling. The universe is waiting.